Hello, everybody, and welcome to Under the Arch Sports. My name is David Wooligan, and today we're talking St. Louis City SC soccer. However, before I do that, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our Facebook page and Instagram, as well as X. Now, St. Louis City still has a lot of the same components as they did last year. We're 6 games into the season. Not going to get into the standings or anything like that. You can see that on the bottom of the screen if you're not familiar with where they are right now on the table. But the biggest thing is how this team has developed from last year to this year. They sold off Nico Gioacchini or Nicholas Gioacchini to Como in Italy, and have really tried to replace him with Thorson, Celio Pompeu, Sam Adeniran, and then Klaus is supposed to be the mainstay as one of our DPs. Um, some of the biggest issues right now I've been seeing with City is they're just not finishing their chances in the final third, but I'll get into that in a minute. The other thing I want to talk about is the improvement of the defensive side of the ball. Uh, with Tim Parker coming back after missing a game or two, it really showed the importance of him on that back line, being able to keep the other guys in constant communication and following what they need to be doing. Other than the transition game where they'll get bit every once in a while due to the style of play that St. Louis City plays. Um, when you're doing that high press, you can have that quick counter against them from time to time, or the ball overhead that will catch them just because they're so high up the field. Uh, they've really done a spectacular job. A lot of the games they drew, they would have lost last year, in my opinion. But the difference is they were able to hold on or force a draw and buy time for the offense to make up ground if they fall behind because they came back to tie a couple of the games early on uh, after falling behind. But honestly, the defense has really improved a lot. They still struggle at times, but they're doing what they need to do to see City win some games. My biggest issue with this team offensively is first off, you have Jao Klaus, your designated player, forward. Um, Only goal he's had this year's off a penalty shot. Other than that, not a lot. He's set up a lot of offensive attacks, done a lot of great things offensively. It's just finishing has not been there this year like it was last year to start the season. Uh, he's kind of looking like he did after the injury, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't think it's affecting him. I think it's just a matter of knocking out the rust, if you will, and honing in on what he needs to do to score some goals. But at this point, I almost wonder if it starts to become mental too, because he keeps missing some of the chances he's had. You have Adeniran, who's been scoring, doing a great job, especially with his left foot. But when he tries to get on to his right, it's his weaker foot, if you will, struggles a bit. Um, you saw that a couple of games ago where he had a couple almost one-on-one chances against a goalie, and the goalie forced him to use his right foot, and he couldn't quite get a good strike on the ball um, like he would with his left foot. Um, so, I mean, they got to find a way when they're getting these chances to score. They've done it in 2 games now where they could have walked away way up and crushing their opponent, but they're just flat missing their chances. They're hitting the post, they're skying the ball. Um, they're either rushing their shot or not taking their time. Um, I feel like the attacks have been a lot better this year. They're finding more ways to attack, not just off of turnovers, but they're finding ways to pressure, move the ball up, pass it around, and find openings. Something they couldn't do last year. Celio, with the way he dribbles and takes on people one-on-one, has been a bright spot because it opens up the game for Sam and Klaus. Klaus has done a great job setting up some offense. The biggest thing City really needs to work on is just finishing in the final third. They're still continuing that run that they did last year with their set pieces and being a dangerous team off set pieces. But you're not going to win just off set pieces. You need to score um, and take advantage of your scoring opportunities. I feel like compared to last year, they're really missing some of these opportunities that they've had so far this year. Um, Love to see them turn it around, get a win, because I think once they get that win, it might take some of the pressure off of the forwards, um, and it could allow them to play freer. And if that happens, I could see this team go on a bit of a winning streak, which would be huge, especially with all the draws they've had early on in the season. But my biggest key right now is City needs to figure out offensively how to get more goals. Um, and they can't just score one like they did against Real Salt Lake and then try sit back for 70 or 80 minutes. They have to keep pushing. And because honestly, playing a defensive game is not great, and you're eventually going to get one up. It's like playing prevent defense in football, American football, if you will. It just doesn't work unless it's like the last second of the game. If So they really need to keep pushing. They really need to keep finding the ways to put the ball in the net, and hopefully they can figure out um, how to consistently finish and just quit squandering the chances they're creating for themselves because they're doing a good job creating for themselves. They just have to finish. I think that's been the biggest problem with St. Louis City. Uh, but hopefully things can turn around. Still early in the season, and we here at Under the Arch Sports will keep you updated with all things St. Louis City. So thank you guys for watching.